Since the invention of the camera, engineering has been driven by a single physical obsession, the desire to freeze time. To do that, we had to figure out how to build a mechanical trap for a photon. In a vacuum, a photon travels at approximately 300,000 kilometers per second in a straight line. To capture an image, we have to force that particle to alter its course. We must engineer a physical medium to manipulate its speed. To understand how we tame this speed, look at this generated macro shot. When light strikes a dense medium like silicon dioxide, it physically decelerates. According to Snell's law, this sudden drop in velocity forces the light waves to change direction. It bends. Capturing an image is the physical act of manipulating the absolute speed limit of the universe. White light is a composite of different wavelengths. When that composite hits a curved piece of glass, the physical density of the lens bends each individual wavelength at a slightly different angle. Shorter wavelengths, like blue light, bend at a sharper angle than longer wavelengths, like LED light. Because of this trajectory difference, they physically cannot converge at the exact same point behind the lens. We call this physical flaw chromatic aberration. You see it as the harsh purple and green fringing along the high contrast edges of uncorrected photographs. This animated cross-section shows the engineered solution. By physically stacking different glass elements with varying refractive indices into an achrochromatic group, optical engineers offset the aggressive bending of the blue light against the shallower angle of the red. This physical structure forces those varying wavelengths to converge at a single point. A modern lens relies on a highly engineered sequence of distinct physical corrections, entirely designed to tame the chaos of differing wavelengths. Once the light is focused, it meets a mechanical gatekeeper, the aperture iris. This multi-blade mechanism rapidly expands and contracts to dictate the sheer volume of photons allowed into the chamber. Tightening the iris narrows the angle of the incoming light, which increases your depth of focus. But restricting that physical space immediately introduces a conflicting limitation. When light waves are forced through a microscopically tight opening, they physically strike the edges of the blades and spread out. This is diffraction, and the resulting wave interference destroys optical sharpness across the entire image. Optical engineering is a state of permanent compromise. Every physical restriction you place on light introduces a new distortion that must be managed. The photon leaves the rear element of the glass and heads toward the focal plane shutter. This is a site of extreme mechanical violence. To achieve an exposure of 1/8,000th of a second, dual mechanical curtains must accelerate and halt with massive inertia. The parts undergo G-forces hundreds of times greater than a fighter pilot experiences in combat. Standard steel would shatter under this repeated acceleration. Engineers construct these shutter blades from carbon fiber reinforced epoxies or ultralight titanium alloys. Even with advanced materials, a single blade cannot open and close completely in a fraction of a millisecond. Instead, the camera uses a moving slit technique. The second curtain follows the first, creating a scanning dop. This sequential scanning creates the rolling shutter effect. Because the bottom is exposed later, fast-moving objects appear physically bent. Freezing high-speed time requires a sequential mechanical scan that inherently warps physical reality. Passing the shutter, the photon finally strikes the sensor. This is a rigid, microscopic crystalline lattice made of pure silicon. Pure silicon is an electrical insulator. It does not carry a current on its own. To make it useful, engineers dope the silicon, injecting atoms like phosphorus to alter its conductivity. Here, we rely on the photoelectric effect. When a photon strikes the doped silicon with enough energy, the physical collision knocks an electron into the conduction band, leaving behind a positively charged hole. In modern CMOS, or active pixel sensors, every individual microscopic pixel contains its own physical amplifier to read this resulting charge immediately. The digital image begins at this exact stage. It is a precise, microscopic count of electrical charges generated by quantum collisions. Silicon measures the total energy of incoming photons, but cannot detect specific wavelengths. At the hardware level, a camera sensor is completely colorblind. To derive color, engineers place a Bayer filter over the silicon. This is a physical grid of microscopic red, green, and blue filters sitting atop individual pixels, mimicking human biology. The grid uses a strict 2-to-1 ratio of green pixels to red and blue pixels. This physical design matches the evolutionary peak sensitivity of the human eye, which processes brightness and detail most efficiently at the wavelength of green light. This brings us to ISO. Raising your ISO does not physically increase the sensor sensitivity to light. Its quantum efficiency is a fixed physical property. ISO is strictly a downstream electronic gain applied to an analog voltage signal. This animated grid illustrates the consequence of that electronic gain. Photons hit the sensor in a sparse, random distribution, known as shot noise. When you increase ISO, you directly amplify that physical randomness. The vivid colors and low light sensitivities professionals rely on are engineering illusions built entirely on biological mimicry, matrix mathematics, and amplified quantum randomness. When we transition from a single frozen frame to continuous video, the math scales violently. A 4K sensor recording at 60 frames per second generates roughly 6 billion bits of raw data every single second. This volume of data physically exceeds the write speeds of consumer memory cards and pushes the thermal limits of onboard processing chips. The solution to this bottleneck is mathematical compression, specifically a codec process known as chroma subsampling, often deployed in the 420 format. This diagram shows the exact mechanism of that compression. The algorithm retains 100% of the luma, or brightness data, in a 4x4 grid, because human vision relies on luma for detail. Simultaneously, it shrinks the color grid down to a 2x2 block. It permanently discards up to 75% of the physical color resolution. High-fidelity digital video is a highly optimized mathematical illusion, reliant on discarding massive amounts of physical data that the human brain is too flawed to notice missing. Traditional hardware, heavy curved glass, and limited silicon electron capacities is rapidly reaching its strict thermodynamic and physical boundaries. To bypass these limits, mobile cameras now rely on computational photography. Instead of taking one picture, the camera captures 10 to 15 sequential physical exposures. Neural processors then mathematically merge them, building a single composite image that physically never existed in a single moment. The optical path is facing a similar architectural shift. The era of heavy, curved glass lenses is being replaced by metalenses. As seen in this generated macro flyover, a metalens uses thousands of microscopic, precisely arranged silicon pillars built on a completely flat surface. Instead of relying on glass density to bend light, these nanostructures manipulate the phase of light waves directly at the sub-wavelength level. The future of optical engineering requires abandoning the massive, curved designs of the 19th century in favor of perfectly flat, nanoscale phase manipulation. In sensor laboratories, researchers are moving past the constraints of CMOS architecture to test quanta image sensors, or QIS. QIS abandons the traditional method of gathering electron wells to measure analog voltage. Instead, standard pixels are replaced by billions of microscopic jots, each capable of detecting and counting single individual photons as they strike. By counting absolute particles rather than measuring voltage, QIS eliminates analog shot noise entirely. It produces a dynamic range that far exceeds the biological capacity of human vision, capturing extreme highlights and total shadows simultaneously. In 1826, freezing a blurry image required an 8-hour chemical exposure. Today, we are engineering surfaces capable of counting individual particles of light in total darkness. The modern camera has evolved into a chain of specialized hardware designed to filter, count, and translate the behavior of light into a stable digital architecture.